Welcome, luminous souls. As we gather here in the sacred container, let's take a breath together. Inhaling clarity, exhaling distraction. This is a space of resonance, intuition, soul-led expansion. Suzy's going to be with us shortly to guide today's multi-dimensional journey. Let your energy settle, your heart open, and your inner wisdom rise. You are held, you are ready, you are here. Just got a few housekeeping notes. So please just keep your microphones muted throughout the session to honor the energetic flow and the collective field. Use the chat box, share any of your reflections, intuitive insights, any questions you might have that arise during Suzy's transmission today. Your light adds up and adds to all of our shared energy. Go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from and what caused you to sign up for this masterclass series. I'd love to know kind of where you're at, and it also helps to weave the circle of light together. As always, the replay will be available. You'll get an email tomorrow, more than likely, or within 24 hours with the replay, so you can go through it again, or, you know, if you can't make it live, you can go through the replay and catch any extra bits that you may have missed. And then just have your journal ready, your water. If you may want to jot down some intuitive messages or any sensations that might come through. And then if you can, create a sacred space. If you're kind of at your desk at lunch, it might be a bit hard to do that, but if you're feeling called to, you might want to light a candle or set an intention for what you want to do for this masterclass. All right, so we're going to bring Suzy on now and get started. Here she is.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Gillian, for that beautiful introduction and preparation. I so appreciate you, my love. So welcome, Radiant Souls. I'm Suzy Cherub, and I'm so honoured to guide you through this sacred activation today. This isn't just a class, it's actually a soul-coded remembering, a return to your inner wisdom, your inner oracle. You already carry the wisdom inside of you. I'm here to help you tune in, turn on, and trust it as well. So why awaken your inner oracle, you might ask? You're here because your soul is whispering, because you're ready to stop outsourcing your truth, because you want to live lit, aligned, and alive as well. You awaken your oracle to trust yourself deeply, and how important is self-trust, to receive clear guidance from spirit, from your own intuition, and to also make soul-led decisions as well, and to feel radiant, awake, real, and rooted in love and wisdom. So Gillian did a beautiful little opening, but what I thought I would do is just start with a activation, an invocation, if you like. It's very, very short. So just dropping from your head to your heart, hands on heart. Just close your eyes. Take a beautiful, big, deep, harmonizing breath. Let thought dissolve. Let feeling rise. Let your soul listen. This invocation opens your inner portals to see, sense, and know beyond the veil. I call upon the light of my soul, the wisdom of my lineage, and the power of the unseen realms. With breath, take a beautiful, big, deep, harmonizing breath. With breath as my bridge and heart as my compass, I awaken the sacred senses within me. Clairvoyance, psychic sight; clairaudience, psychic hearing; clairsentience, psychic feeling; and of course, knowing. Let my intuition rise like moonlight on water, clear, radiant, and true. I trust what I feel. I honor what I see. I speak what I know. So it is, and so it flows. So just rub your hands together to get very, very present and to create life force energy, some beautiful chi, and just place your hands on your heart. And with intention, just open up your heart, your mind, and your psychic senses as well. Beautiful. Okay, so what is intuitive living? For me, intuitive living is a daily devotion to my soul's rhythm. It's choosing resonance over routine, or in other words, being fully awake, not on autopilot. It's letting my body, my dreams, and my intuition guide me, not just my calendar, and my calendar's often very full, but, to really get into that beautiful kind of awakened vibration. So with intuitive living, you actually become the oracle, the light for your own life. You live as the sign, you channel your truth, your intuitive wisdom with love, grace, and gratitude as well. So if your heart feels called, share in the chat box, what does intuitive living mean to you right now in this moment? It's a way of listening, flowing, trusting, and co-creating together. So what does intuitive living mean to you? Your insight might spark something beautiful for someone else, because we're all connected, or you may prefer to come back to the replay and journal the prompts I ask you throughout the masterclass. So what does living mean to you right now in this moment? Making bold decisions. Absolutely, Anna. Love that. I love that. So you can do that in your own timing, in your own divine timing. I just want to move on now to let your psychic personality shine. I truly believe that we are unique and beautiful beings, and we all have our own psychic personality and our own way of tuning into spirit. And there's no right, there's no wrong, there's only your way, and your way is the right way for you. So let's talk about your unique psychic essence. You don't need to be like anyone else. You don't need to channel like me, read like your favorite mystic, or speak like your mentor. It's so important that you bring your authentic voice through. Your intuitive gifts have their own fragrance, flavor, rhythm, and glow. So knowing that as well, that there's no real kind of perfect way to connect with spirit or to embrace your own intuition. It's very individual, and thank goodness for that, because we're all unique, beautiful beings. Yeah. So your intuitive gifts have their own sense. Some of you receive through visions. So I'm very clairvoyant, so I get psychic visions. In the early days, it was a little bit like charades. I'd have to intuitively interpret the visions I was given. And of course, when you work with one psychic clair, you often open up the others as well. So some of you may receive through psychic sight, through visions, through dreams. Some through body sensations, so spidey sense, gut feelings. You just get a sense or a feeling for something, that's, through the body, through the portal of the physical sense, through the heart, if you like, through clear psychic feeling. Some through dreams, symbols, or spontaneous knowing, that beautiful, deep, calm inner knowing. You just kind of get this knowing about something. You're not sure how you know it, but you know it to be true for you. Okay, I want you to trust in that. Some of you are leisurely bloomers, so it's very part-time, or it's perhaps something that progressively unfurls and awakens for you over time. And others, it's like a lightning bolt, a dark night of the soul, a spiritual awakening, often because of something quite dramatic that's happened in your life. For me, it was a near-death experience many years ago. I was intuitive prior to that, but once I'd had that awakening, there was no going back. It was no longer negotiable. So, what is it for you? Is it a beautiful unfurling, or is it more of a lightning bolt? I'd love to know. I also like to explain that I truly believe we are all equal on this journey, and we are all intuitive. There's no hierarchy, there's no competition, there's no comparison. Comparison dims your channel, and competition clogs your intuitive flow. So authenticity is actually your amplifier. So when you get really authentic and you peel back the layers, the limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk, whatever it might be, and you really find that authentic way of expressing your intuitive self, your psychic senses are going to amplify. So authenticity is your amplifier. So let's begin with a gentle inquiry. What does your soul sound like? If your intuitive voice had a sound, what would it sound like? I always think mine is like bird song or a beautiful crystal bowl meditation or something. Like, what would your soul sound like? Is it a bell? How do you honor the voice of your intuition? How do you honor that? How do intuitive insights arrive for you? Is it through feeling? Is it through knowing? Is it through sensing with all of it, or seeing? If you feel called, share in the chat box, or you may want to come back and journal that later. Once you identify your primary clair or your psychic personality, then you can use that to deepen your other psychic senses as well. So it's good to identify your own unique essence, if you like, and then you can kind of use that to kind of like open portals to other psychic senses too. So let's talk about some refined transmissions. So crown your inner oracle, let authenticity be your sacred guide. Don't try and be someone else or something else, and we're all guilty of that, okay? I've done it myself at times. Unveil the oracle within by living your truth, unfiltered and whole. Let your actual soul speak. So start to journal your intuitive insights, start to express your intuition. Your authenticity is the oracle's voice. So awaken the oracle encoded in your unique essence by honoring your untamed truth. Your authenticity is the altar. So place your oracle there and let it kind of rise and bloom and really show up for you as well. Loving that. So I invite you now, I want you to drop into your body temple. Close your eyes if you need to. And I want you to feel into your psychic personality and ask yourself, what's my intuitive superpower, my primary psychic clair? my primary psychic sense or senses, if you like? And how does spirit speak through me? Is it a quiet knowing, a flash of inner insight, a feeling in your body? It could be just a spidey sense or a gut feeling. You might get a tingling sensation up your left arm. That's what I usually get. Is it a flash of insight, or a flash of inner vision, inner sight, a feeling in your body? Is it a sensing without words? Sometimes, it can be very symbolic. It can talk to you in numbers or symbols or something else entirely. Often the really random insight is usually the most credible, authentic insight as well. So don't dismiss anything. If you feel guided, share in the chat and let's celebrate the diversity of our psychic gifts as well. So I just thought I'd share with you how I tune in each day. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be really super simple. I always suggest you do any kind of psychic practice at a time that feels flowy and fluid for you. If you're a morning person, it makes sense to do it in the morning. If you're a night owl, it makes sense to do it at night. Okay. So, weave it into a time that feels really spacious and flowy and fun for you. So, how do I do it? Here's my rhythm. You're welcome to borrow, remix, or reinvent any of this, right? So, in the morning, before I tune into my tech, into my social media, before I check my emails, I'll often do breath work, really beautiful deep breathing, even if it's just a few really deep belly breaths. I often do a quick meditation. Then I might, get a really gorgeous cuppa. Sometimes it's sacred cacao. Sometimes it's a herbal tea. Sometimes it's a cup of coffee, whatever I feel guided to. And then I walk around my garden with my gorgeous cuppa. And I often go and put, bird seed in the bird feeder. I really connect to nature because when you go into nature, you're actually connecting with your true nature, which is your intuitive self as well. So, I tune in before I even go onto my phone, if you like. That morning I do things like I might check what moon phase we're in, I check the lunar overlays for the day because if it's a full moon, I know that everything's going to be amplified. And if it's a new moon, I know it's going to be a beautiful, fresh energy to perhaps make some really beautiful intentions as well. So, I'm a lunar lover, I'm a moon lover, I'm also a sun lover. But I like to check what moon it is. And for some of us, it's our astrology as well, or whatever it might be. I also like to crown myself with an archetype because I'm very much into embodiment, like embodying certain qualities from a divinity or a beautiful ascended master or something. So I often do this by pulling an oracle card and tuning into what archetype comes through for me for that day. It could be, Queen of the Crossroads, beautiful goddess Hecate. And of course, Hecate will help me make a decision that might need to be made that day. She's basically the Queen of the Crossroads. So if she comes through, I know that I may need to make a decision intuitively that day. Okay. I like to activate my sensory pleasure, my physical senses, because when you open your physical senses, you awaken your intuitive senses. So I do that through mindful eating and mindful drinking, usually herbal tea, essential oils. I like to get a bit of sunlight in the morning and textures that open my physical senses to awaken my psychic senses. So in other words, I get really super conscious as opposed to, just, being in that numbed state, if that makes sense. My workflow, I like to schedule soul-led, and beautiful Gillian that you met earlier on, my beautiful VA angel, who's also my dear soul sister. Couldn't do it without her, to be honest. She knows that I schedule everything intuitively. And thank goodness she's intuitive, because I often make it up as I go along, although I do like to plan as well. So I schedule soul-led. I make it spacious, in alignment with my core values and current priorities. So, I get really super aware and around that. I refine transmissions with clarity. What do I mean by that? I don't react. I get very proactive about how I do things. So I sit with things. I don't, react. I don't, I often sit with things for a bit. So to refine my intuitive transmission with clarity. So, that can just be a checking in with self throughout the day. I treat my client care as ceremony. My clients are also my sacred circle, and it's a very intimate connection that I have with them. And intimacy is not just, sensual, it's also heart to heart, mind to mind. So my beautiful clients are usually my friends, my soul sisters, some soul brothers as well, and they're also my sacred circle. So my client care is ceremony. I show up fully present, and I hold space for my programs and my circles and my dear soul siblings, if you like. I break throughout the day to do creative play, writing. I like to dance. I do barefoot walks on the beach. I'm a playful cherub, so I'm a bit cheeky. So I love meditation music, but I also love rock and roll music. I play my sound bowls. I do yin yoga 2 or 3 times a week. I adore my family and friends, and I cuddle my gorgeous sausage dog Pablo. So break free for creative play. And this will actually help you attune to your intuition as well, because you can't be on all of the time. In the evening, I reflect and receive messages from spirit, and I usually do this 10 minutes at sunset. And if you follow me on social media, you'll often see a short video of me actually standing there on my deck at sunset, doing a gratitude moment, or reflecting on the day and receiving, that beautiful peace and tranquility from spirit. 10 minutes a day, it's all it takes, yeah? I clear my channel with sound, sacred sound, daily, with strong, loving intention. I like to be really super conscious about what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. It just means when you're intuitive and something does pop up, even an obstacle or a challenge, you're more grounded and you're more intuitive to resolve that without the, spiral into the abyss, if that makes sense. So I seed my dreams with intention. So energy attracts. So how you show up in the world is what you get back. So thoughts, feelings, and words become things, but I tell you what's more powerful is your energy, how you show up. So seeding dreams with intention. I'm really big on affirmations, and you probably noticed on my social media that I do a lot of affirmations, because I truly believe you can rewire the limiting beliefs, the negative self-talk. You can reframe. So our affirmation for today is: I live inspired. I trust my soul. I am the oracle. I love I am statements because they bring us into the sacred now. Beautiful. So, my gorgeous bright lights, if you feel inspired, share in the chat. What's one intuitive ritual you already do? Or perhaps it might be one you want to try. How do you awaken? How do you become intuitive and conscious and come off autopilot? out of the matrix, out of Groundhog Day. Because if there's one thing that will enhance your intuition, it's getting aware, awake, conscious. So I'm curious. Pop in the chat. What's one intuitive ritual you do every day or you want to try? I love sunrise and I love sunset. To me, they're portals, they're doorways to spirit. So I want to talk to you about thresholds because I believe they're real and they're important. Sunrise and sunset are intuitive portals for me, where veils thin and your channel clears. So um, this is just a suggestion, but it's sunrise. You know, do a beautiful, big deep breath. Your soul's inhale. It's a moment to receive, reset, and realign. What I do is I sit in silence. Sometimes I stand in silence, let the light touch my skin, and I ask myself, what wants to waken in me today? And I journal the first word. If I don't journal, I just make a mental note. What is the first word or image that arrives? Because that first insight is usually significant. So, you might want to journal. At sunset, this is your soul's exhale. So sunrise is an inhale, where sunset is an exhale. It's a time to release anything from that day that no longer serves your highest, happy, and most intuitive self. It's a time for reflection, and it's a time to integrate what you learnt that day. I like to watch the colour shift over the sunset. My grandsons will often do this because I've taught them. My grandson Noah might say to me, "Oh, Shushu, look, it's a pink, um, pink sky tonight," or whatever it might be. So watch the colours shift. Let the day dissolve. Ask, what truth did I live today? Not what did I do right today, because it's not about perfection, it's about authenticity. What truth did I honor today? What truth did I live today? What can I let go of? What story, repetitive story, am I holding on to that I keep retelling that no longer serves my highest, happy, and most intuitive self? I like to pull a card or write a closing note to spirit. So often, if you see any of my poetry, it's written at sunset. Do you feel moved? Does this kind of like light something up inside of you? Do you feel more connected at sunrise or sunset, and why? I'm wondering, perhaps you're more of an evening person. So sunset is a time to get super still and really tune in, tap in to your own inner wisdom. Or perhaps it's sunrise. Perhaps you're an early riser and you love mornings. You're a morning person. I never used to be a morning person and now I'm both. I taught myself to do that. So, yeah, loving it. Beautiful. Just have a look at the chat. What have we got? Let's have a look. Making bold decisions for change. I'm living in the now. Being more present, body energy and feeling, spontaneous knowing, unfurling, a slow unfurling, a beautiful unfolding. I love that. That's like an allowing, right? A beautiful allowing, a surrender. Mine is sensing, beautiful. Look, energy in my feet and up my legs when my message is correct. I meditate before getting up and then I go out into my garden and stand barefoot on the earth. I bless Mother Earth, moon and sun, then bless my family and friends. How beautiful is this? And a special friend who is struggling with health, and then bless myself the morning. Anna's got, I am conscious of not being reactive, And I always sit with things like you do. Every morning I share an affirmation with my work colleagues. I pull a card from one of my decks, loving this. You know what? We're all on the same page. No wonder we all connected, loving it. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Tune in, turn on, and channel wisdom. Let's walk through the sequence together. So tune in. I want you to drop beneath the noise. Ask clear questions. Listen with your body. Your physical body is a temple for your intuition. Track your intuitive hits, even if you're just making a mental note. Turn on. Clear your channel. I like to do what I call an aura sweep each day. Sometimes it's dry brushing before I hop into the shower. Sometimes I white light. Sometimes I use a feather, whatever it might be for you. Dress in a way that feels really authentic to you. Adorn yourself with, wear what feels authentic, express your true self. It actually makes a difference to your day. Create a vibe. I lit a candle before we jumped on, and it's a lemongrass candle. I play really beautiful, soothing music throughout the day. I always pull oracle cards, and I adore my crystals, my beautiful, beautiful crystals. I love them. I love my crystals. And I make declarations like, I am a clear channel. I receive with grace, that type of thing. Okay, channel wisdom. Invite your guides. Invite your guides in. You can go directly to source, whatever word resonates with you. Source, the divine, the creator, the universal heart, the universal mind. You can go directly to source, but it's always nice to call in your guides as well, your spirit guides. Receive without editing. Often we talk ourselves out of intuition. That can't be right. I'm making that up. That can't be, go with your initial hit, your first vision, your first insight. Receive without editing. Don't be tempted to rewrite it. You might want to speak it aloud and anchor it with action as well. So I want you to pause for a moment. I want you to close your eyes. Softly close your beautiful eyes, which are the mirrors to the soul. Drop beneath the noise. Ask a clear question. Listen to your intuitive body. Invite your guides in. Receive without editing. Feel it in your body. And if you feel guided, share in the chat. What's one way you know Spirit is speaking to you? Remembering that we're all a little bit different with how we receive messages as well. What's one way you know Spirit? And when I say spirit, it can be human spirit, but usually when I say spirit in that context, it's, what is the divine speaking to you today? If you feel guided, share in the chat. I just want to emphasize that dot point of anchor it with action, because intuition is just intuition if you're not acting on it. So faith in action, acting, expressing and anchoring and actually actioning. I call it faith in action. Nothing about faking. It's all about faithing it. Yeah. So just allow these words to wash over you. I want you to put your hands on your heart. I want you to breathe deeply and just let these words wash over your heart. I now awaken my inner oracle. I am a clear channel for for truth, my truth, grace and soul wisdom. I trust the whispers of my heart and the guidance of spirit. I tune in, turn on, and receive with love. And a beautiful activation sequence that I thought that, we could do together too, if you can just, take your shoes off, if you can pull them off quickly. Bare feet on the earth, spine tall. Breathe deeply. Sweep your aura with intention. If you're at work, of course, you can't use your feather or your selenite or your dry brushing or sound, but, just sweep your aura with intention. Call in, invite your guides, your ancestors, your higher self. Hand on heart and third eye, and say, I am ready to receive. Beautiful. I'm going to pull a card, and we're going to tap into the card together, and then I'll give you the meaning of the card as well. You can write it down, you can speak it aloud, and of course you can act on it. Yeah. So the card I pulled for us today is from my Moon Temple Oracle deck, my latest deck. And I did randomly pull a card and was pleasantly surprised when I read the meaning of the card. The card is actually Illumination. It's the Norse goddess of the sun. She's a personification of the sun, goddess Sol. Her brother is the moon god, Mani. So she is the sun and he is the moon. And this card is the illumination card. So when you look into this card, when you tune in, tap in, if you like, to this card, what comes through for you? And often what comes through for you is relevant to the whole group as well. So just tapping into that. You may get just a feeling, you may get an additional vision or a really beautiful, deep, calm inner knowing. What's coming through for you today? Sometimes it's really profound. Other times it's as simple as you might need some more sunlight, some serotonin, the happiness from the sun, whatever that is for you. Share in the chat box too, if you like. So it's sun and moon illumination. And I'll just read the generic meaning for you. I am open and willing to receive clarity. The moonlit code words are shed, so let go and surrender with intention everything that you no longer need to carry. Extend, so, really extend your energy, open up and radiate. The radiant sun goddess Sol ignites your spiritual ascent. A light bulb moment enlightens you to the truth. Keep your spiritual sight and heart wide open as a significant realization is being revealed to you in a clear vision. This new understanding awakens you to the crux of the situation. I won't read the whole thing. Sol is the ancient Norse goddess of the sun and sister to the moon god Mani. She swiftly drives across the sky each day in her horse-drawn golden chariot, lighting the way for truth, seekers to follow. She enlightens minds with higher wisdom and hearts with universal love. Day and night symbolize a balanced perspective. The sun is often associated with power, positive energy, and growth, while the moon is linked to intuition, mystery, and transition. Together, these complementary elements create symmetry and sacred union. And I've got a really beautiful sun gazing ritual here as well that you might like to try. The sun exemplifies spiritual knowledge and a sense of oneness with the divine. Sun gazing is a meditative practice that encompasses scrying into the rising or setting sun to help focus attention and clear the mind. Call on the sun's power to increase your connection to source. The illumination spell chant is, in the radiance of the sunlight and the shadow of the moon, Goddess Soul, I call on you. Clarify my insight and help me see the light and darkness of my higher truth. So may it be. In love, grace, and gratitude. Beautiful. Loving that. Loving that. So, did that message call to you? Have you got further insights that you might want to share with the group? Pop in the chat box if something you downloaded something, or, often too, you just start speaking, start writing, and the messages will come. Don't passively wait for things. Have an interactive conversation with spirit and allow it to come through, and just start writing, just start speaking, just start channeling. Yeah? Loving that. So the other thing I'd like to do before we finish up today is an invitation to my Oracle of Light Academy. There's some beautiful soul sisters that I really love and adore in the group that have already done this program. You have been guided here for a reason. It's no accident, it's synchronicity. A soul-coded moment of alignment. A soul-coded moment of alignment. A whisper from spirit, a nudge from your higher self, perhaps. The Oracle of Light Academy is now open for enrolment. Doors open February 2026. It's not just a course, it's a 9-month sacred, beautiful circle pilgrimage, a multidimensional journey to deepen your spiritual connection, awaken your intuitive gifts, and become a confident channel for divine messages. You'll enter this space as an Oracle of Light initiate, and you'll emerge as a graduate, embodied, empowered, and attuned to your higher mission, if you like. It's for intuitives that are very new to it. It's for intuitives that really want to take it to a whole new level. We're all equal on the journey. So together we'll walk the path of self-trust. And how important is self-trust, by the way? Psychic mastery and soul sovereignty. You'll learn to listen deeply, speak truthfully, and transmit messages from spirit with clarity and grace that are also relevant and significant to your own journey. You've been called, you're ready. Answer the call of your soul. If your heart is saying yes, no pressure. You may like to register. The portal is open. The light is waiting. I'll be here to guide you every step of the way. And our beautiful closing affirmation for today is, I live intuitively. I trust my soul. I am the oracle. I am the light. So yay. So Jillian will pop the link up in the chat box, but it'll also come out on my social media, my website, in an email. As I said, if you feel called, if you feel guided, if it feels flowy and right for you, I'd love to have you along on the journey. Infinite heartfelt blessings. Thank you so much for showing up today. I'm doing 2 more masterclasses fortnightly, and you don't need to sign up to the Oracle of Light Academy to join our masterclass. But of course, if you feel guided, I'd absolutely love and adore you to reach out. Hey, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for participating. I noticed a lot of my beautiful soul sisters are in the group, so you know that I love and adore you all. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thanks, Suzy. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Lorraine.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, my love, for your beautiful messages and your beautiful insights.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Suzy.
Kaz
Great
is
to
there.
see you.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank
Thanks, Beck.
you. Bye.
Thanks, Bryony. That's a lovely, good, gorgeous name. And of course, thanks to Gillian.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Gillian.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Gillian. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.